Okay, so we're starting a new demo today. This is a kitchen remodel, or basically it's a main floor remodel. And as you know, we name each of our houses so that we can give each video a name without identifying the homeowner or the property or the address or anything like that. And I was trying to figure out a name for this one until I looked out this window and saw there's a hummingbird feeder out here. So this is going to be the Hummingbird House. And so we're totally redoing this kitchen. We're going to take out this light box up here. We're adding a whole bunch of can lights. Our signature is to really lighten up space. So we're going to add a bunch of can lights. Over here, you see there's a pantry right here. We're going to get rid of this. And so this will be a wall of cabinets with a refrigerator. There's actually going to be an appliance garage right here for a place to put mixers and stuff like that. Here in this pantry has an angled wall on it. We're actually going to have the wall square off the wall and put the door right here. So we get a little more room in the pantry, and we get a little more wall space right here, because right here is their temporary coffee center, and we're going to actually have a built-in coffee center right here. And so this floor is maple, and we're going to refinish this floor, but we're also going to add to it. So here in the entry, area, we're going to be refinishing this floor, but you have the formal living room area here, and that's all going to be new maple hardwood floor. And over in the formal dining room is going to be new maple hardwood floor. For the stairway here, we're taking all the carpet off and putting new carpet on, but we're also going to put tread caps on, or wood down both sides against the wall, and then we're replacing all the railing here as well. So that's part of what we'll be doing in this remodel. So we're excited to bring this project to you and show you how we transform this kitchen into an amazing, beautiful, bright new kitchen. So we've made quite a bit of progress here since we showed you the pre-demo video. So we've torn everything out, and all the electrical's done, and we've installed a heat vent, or an exhaust fan. So this right here is for the new hood. It's going to be a really nice stainless steel hood that goes up here, and we vented it out the back. One of the things we found when we demoed is when we took the microwave down, the microwave was vented, but the vent was just laying on top of the cabinets and went out right there. So obviously we couldn't use that because our cabinets are going to go right to the ceiling. So we had a problem here with the pantry. You can see that it used to be one of those corner pantries. The door used to be right here. And I told you earlier that we were going to square off the pantry. So if you come in down here, you can see my marks. This is where the pantry was going to come to. You see my pencil lines right there. So the pantry wall was going to come to right here. And which was going to make the pantry a lot nicer. But then the problem that we had is that when we laid out the island, you can kind of see how we have our marks here on the floor for the island. And so this is the corner of the island right here where my toe is. And then there's going to be an overhang right here. And so the island would come to right about here. And you can see that at the end of the pantry, there's just not enough walk space right there. So we had a problem with the measurement on our drawings. This opening right here is only 3 feet wide, but on our drawings, it showed it as a 5-foot opening. And that was from a previous designer that I had working for me, and it kind of messed everything up. And so on my drawings, there was more space right here than there actually was. So we had to come up with a solution. And nothing was working really good to make it all work. But then what we found is that if we added to the pantry this extra feet, so you have 7 feet from here to there, and then we're going to do pantry cabinets here instead of a pantry. And the coffee center is going to be right here as well. And so, in fact, the coffee center is going to be enclosed, but you can open up the doors and you'll have your coffee center there. This is low voltage wiring, so we're going to have a light inside the coffee center. And so it's a really good solution. It actually gives us a lot more walkway right here. So we didn't have to give up anything on the island to make it work. And so So you can see here's the island. We're going to have a veggie sink in the island, so we had to run plumbing over here. Fortunately, this basement is unfinished, and so it's pretty easy to move wiring and stuff like that around. Over here, there was another pantry built in right here, and we got rid of that. The fridge used to be right here, and we're moving it to here, and we put in a fridge box, and then double ovens are going right here. And this is cool. I've never put one of these in before, but this double oven has a steam setting on it. And so we ran water. There's water right here that we ran. It's right behind the wall right here, so that the oven can use steam as well in this cooking process. I don't know what the benefits of that are, but anyways, if you look on the ceiling, you can see all the wires hanging down. We've put a whole bunch of can lights in, and we're doing these days. We're doing what they call canless lights, so they look like a can light. Like you see, we put a couple of them in here, so we have some light. But a canless light doesn't have the big can that goes up in the ceiling, and that's really helpful when you have places like this where you want to put a can. You see right here, there's a beam and a floor joist right there. And a normal can, we can't put it there. So all of a sudden the framing is dictating where your layout of your lights, which can really make it really hard to make everything look geometrical. And so now a canless light works perfect right there because it has a little transformer that you can just slip up in the ceiling right there, and it clamps up and it works great. So we've been using those. They're about the same price. They're a little bit more money than a can, but with the can and the trim, they're about the same price. And so it works out really good. You can see where the hardwood floor is. It's a maple, really nice maple hardwood floor. We're going to keep that, but you can see where we've taken out walls that we have to patch it in. So on this section right here, we'll probably just take out all of this flooring to right here. And then they do what they call weave it in or tooth it in. So they'll actually, in each one of these sections, they'll take the flooring out back to the joint. Like on this one right here. See this one right here? They'll take that out back to that joint right there. And they'll do the same thing on that side, so that when they put the new flooring in, you won't be able to tell. You won't see any seams or anything like that. And then we're going to add the maple hardwood floor to the formal dining area and also to the living room as well. And let me show you again what we're doing on the stairway. We got all the carpet tore out. You can see we put these plastic barriers up with zipper doors on them. So when there's work going on that's creating dust, they can pull the zipper down, and that helps keep dust from getting into the areas of the house where they're living. But we're gonna put tread caps all the way up the side of the stairway. They're about this wide, and will be maple tread caps, and they'll go all the way up on both sides. And then here they'll turn and go down against the wall right here. And then we're going to put new handrail and railing all out of maple. And so it'll look really nice. And then we'll put carpet up the middle. So there's your update right now. My sheetrock guy is here. You can see some of the patches that are being done. And so we've kind of turned the project over to him, and he'll be on it till about the middle of next week. And then we'll get in here and start working on the flooring. Okay, we have made a ton of progress since our last segment. You can see behind me the cabinets are all installed, and we have countertops. The countertops are gorgeous. They turned out beautiful. I have a lot to show you and a lot to talk about because I made a mistake on this project, and I forgot that the homeowners had chosen different sinks. And they originally chose the two sinks that were installed when they first went and looked at granite, but then they decided to order new sinks, and they told me, and I forgot to pass that information along to the countertop guys. So when they showed up to install the countertops, these sinks are what came with them. And so, like, for example, this is the sink that was supposed to be installed for the kitchen. It's a little bit wider and a little bit deeper than the one that got installed. Here's the one that we installed. So the other one, we were going to try and see if we could cut the new one in, but it won't work. And one of the reasons that we decided not to do it is because this narrow part right here is susceptible to breaking, and it might break while we're trying to take this old sink out. And I wanted to show you over here. It might be a little hard to see on the video, but there's a seam right here. And my countertop guys did a wonderful job of matching. See how the grain flows through from one side of the seam to the other? It's pretty amazing. This whole spot right here, it all flows. And even all of this, it all flows together. And so there isn't another piece of granite that would match this. Sometimes we have what they call sister granite slabs. When they cut granite slabs out of a huge chunk of granite, they slice them, and then they number the slabs. So say, for example, the two slabs that we used here were like 239 and 238. But then there's also going to be a 240 and a 237. And so those two slabs would be very, very similar to the two that are next, because they're all right next to each other, cut out of the block. The problem is that in case this broke, we were not going to be able to get a bookmark seam like this, and there were no slabs left from that group. And so we didn't want to risk it. There's only like a 10% chance that this could break while we're trying to modify the opening, but that's a 10% chance that myself and the homeowners did not want to take. So they're willing to accept this sink. I'm having to make some concessions. I have to buy this sink. And then there's a bar sink too that's square that we have to, that they had bought for this as well. And so I'm going to have a bar sink and a kitchen sink in inventory that I'll hopefully be able to use on a newer project coming up. But I'm grateful for them and their willingness to work. Nothing ever happens perfectly. You know, and I made a mistake, an honest mistake, but it was nevertheless, it was a mistake. And we worked through it and figured it out. It took us several days of trying different things, trying different measurements, and even looking to see if we could find different sinks that we could use. But what it boiled down to is that if this broke, we'd have to be replacing all the countertops. And they love the countertops, and so they didn't want to do that. So anyways, these cabinets are natural cherry. Cherry in its natural flavor has a little bit of an orangish look to it. I love it. And so here's going to go a stainless steel exhaust fan, but we're going to add a wood element to it and continue to crown across it once we get it installed. Let me show you a couple other things that are kind of cool about these cabinets. Also, if you pan around, there are no doors below the countertop. It's all cabinets except for the sink cabinet. And there may be one over here, but this is for the sink as well. And this one is a drawer. It's for a couple of garbage baskets. But otherwise, we typically don't put doors below the countertop. We just do drawers instead. Okay, so we don't do doors on the cabinets, on the lower cabinets if we don't have to. It's only sinks and stuff like that. Because otherwise, we just do drawers, so much easier to get stuff in and out of. Over here, we have some pantry cabinets. That's where the oven's going. This is where the fridge is going to go. And then this is a pantry cabinet. But we got a little surprise. We don't have handles yet, so I have tape on here so I can open these. This is going to be an appliance garage. So this shelf actually gets cut back, and it's going to get raised up, and it'll actually have a light underneath it. But here you'll be able to put your blender, your toaster oven, whatever you want to put out here, mixer, stuff like that. You can have that all here, all plugged in. We have an outlet right here, so all good to go. And so it'll be really nice. And we put the granite countertop in here. How cool is that? And then we have another one of those over here. This is the coffee center. Essentially the same thing. Shelf will come up. It'll get cut back. And then we have the LED lighting that'll go in here. And this is where the coffee maker is going to be. And the coffee supplies are going to be all right there. Pretty cool. It's going to be fun when it's done. I think they're going to love it. On the back side of the island here, we do have doors here, and these are just storage, right? They're about 12 inches deep because we wanted a bigger island, so we might as well take advantage of that. And we still have our 12-inch overhang here. So let me tell you a couple other issues that we ran into. Some projects go smoother than others, and others we have issues that we have to address. If you come over here, Our plan is to put the old crown back up wherever the cabinets were. And you see, we were trying to get them to match up. And we tried so hard to get the right crown for the cabinets to match the existing paint ground. But this paint ground is like 20 years old, the crown. And you can see it hangs below the crown right here, and then it's short at the top. And so we had to try and figure out what we're going to do. And so what we decided is this whole kitchen area is going to actually have this cherry crown in it. So the whole kitchen area. So we took all the paint grade crown. We took all the paint grade crown down from around all the windows in the bay area over there, and we're going to replace it with this cherry crown. And but we still have the issue of the crown outside. So this door has a header on it, right? And so this room is separate from that room. But if you come over here, this door opening originally went right to the ceiling. And so then the crown was going to connect. But now that we can't do that, we put a header in here. So the cherry crown will just go around this whole room. And then on the outside here, we'll be able to run the paint grade crown, get that put back up there. So I think that'll work out really great. It'll look nice and look like we planned it that way. So we're excited. We're getting close. Painters are starting next week, first of next week. Once the painters are done, it'll be time to wrap this place up. We finally completed this project, and it is beautiful. The Hummingbird House turned out amazing, and I can't wait to show it to you. First off, here's the new railings that we did. We did new railings up there, and then we added this skirt, and we added these what we call tread caps and risers up both sides. The sanders are kind of taking up that space now, so I guess you kind of know what time of year we finished this project. But all new carpet and all new railing on that stairway. And then you remember that this entry area here was hardwood, but over here was all carpet. So you can see we added all the new hardwood. This is maple. It's number 2 maple because it has a lot of variation in it. If it was number 1 maple, it would all be the same color. But this looks great. And we did the dining room as well. Added all new carpet there. And my hardwood floor guy just did a really nice job on this. So now, do you want to see the kitchen? Are you excited to see this kitchen? Let me take you. Follow me into the kitchen. It's so great to not do a white kitchen. This kitchen is cherry, and it's beautiful. This is a natural finish on the cherry, and cherry naturally has some knots and stuff in it. And I think it just turned out gorgeous. Remember, this is where the pantry was. And so look what you get instead of a walk-in pantry. You get these beautiful cabinets. And let me show you that inside, we did some fun stuff. Like in this one, has one of those vacuum sealers in it. So it's a vacuum sealer station. We put lighting in there. This one right here is the coffee station. And again, we've got lighting in here and had everything set up size-wise so it would fit with their the products that they use. And then you have all the drawers and storage underneath, and everything's the self-closed doors and drawers. On the end of this island, we put some open bookshelves for all the cookbooks and stuff. And, you know, we always typically deal with the issue of if we don't do a microwave over the cooktop and we want to do a decorative hood, like this one is a really nice hood, what do we do with the microwave? And in this case, they make microwave drawers. And so this microwave has a concealed control panel, and it tilts out so you're looking at it at an angle while you're standing there instead of it being straight on. And then you can just push to open, and then you put your stuff in here from the top instead of having to get down and put it in this way. The one thing you give up with a drawer style microwave is the turntable. And so, but worth it. Everybody loves these microwaves that we put in. So, also I wanted to show you over here, we put in this beautiful cooktop, and it's 36 inches, and it's really a nice cooktop. And then, of course, we put a matching brand exhaust fan in. And then also I wanted to show you this drawer right here. It's really cool. So this is a drawer for like all your cutlery and stuff like that. But check this out. It's got a double drawer in it. And so you put all the other stuff in there, and then it's self-closing too, all the way. And then another really cool feature in this kitchen is the spice racks. Check that out. How cool is that? And there's one on the other side too. There's one here as well. So right where you need them, all your spices. So this kitchen turned out amazing. Again, we refinished this floor, and we had to do a little fixing because there used to be a closet, another pantry over here that we had to get rid of. And then, of course, we had to do a bunch of fixing over there as well. And then in the family room, we didn't do very much in the family room, but we did add all the can lighting, and we replaced their ceiling fan, and then we painted all the walls except for the burgundy wall back there. That was already that way. Another thing, remember we talked about the crown molding problem that we had, and so we had to change. We weren't planning on doing the alder crown all the way around in here, but we wound up doing that. The biggest problem was we had a little problem getting everything to match up right here, but we did as best as we could, and I think it turned out pretty nice. And over here as well, we had to kind of match up and go from the alder to the painted crown because it's all over in the family room. But my heck, this project turned out so wonderful. Look at these pendant lights. And then the oven. I need to talk to you about the oven. Yeah, I need to show you about the oven. This is a double oven that we put in. It's the same brand as the stove and the exhaust fan. But it's really a cool oven because, oh, this is cool too. Look at that. When you pull the handle down, it rotates with your hand. How cool is that? Who thought of that? What a great idea. See how this rotates? So when you're pulling the oven down, the handle rotates instead of your hand rotating on the handle. One of the things that's cool about this oven is it's a misting or a steam oven. And so you can cook with steam instead of, heat. And most steam ovens have a reservoir that you have to fill up. This one has its own supply of water. We had to run a water line to the oven. First time in my career I'd ever had to run a water line to the oven. And so I think that's pretty cool. Also, this oven it's super high quality. And part of the way you can tell is how heavy it was. It's really well built. My guys were huffing and puffing to install this oven. In fact, we even had to get a hand truck that has a platform on it that you can raise up when you pump it, and it raises it up so we can get it at the right height, hook up the water and the power, and then slide it in. So it's pretty cool. And so it's a great oven. I can't wait to have her tell me how she likes it. Then also we put in a pot filler over here. So this is for filling up your pots and not having to carry them from here over to the sink. And it has two shutoffs. It has a shutoff here and one here, so you don't have to reach over stuff to shut it off. And it'll reach anywhere on the stove. Also, if you notice this button right here, you might be wondering what that was for. When you have a situation like this and a garbage disposal, where are you going to put the switch? You don't want to put the switch down low where kids can reach to it. And I've seen so many homes where the switch was inside. You had to open the door and flip the switch right there. So this is what we call an air switch. And so it's the reason they use it as an air switch is so that you're not touching electrical stuff, so that you can't get shocked. And all you have to do is push on this, and there's a tube underneath it that clicks a switch in a box and turns the garbage disposal on. Let me turn the water on for a second. I'll show you. And then turn it off, you just push it again. So if you're ever in a situation where you're doing an island or somewhere where you don't have room a wall to do a switch for the garbage disposal, that's your solution. So folks, thanks for watching our video. We appreciate you taking time to watch us transform this kitchen from what it was to the most amazing kitchen that it is today. And we loved working with the customers. We had a few issues we had to deal with. One was the size of this island and the walk-in pantry. There was a choke point right here. And so we had to deal with that. And that's why we got rid of the pantry. Another issue we had was the hardwood flooring
We had covered most of it, but not all of it. And somehow the part that didn't get covered had the dust had stuck to it or something. So we had to refinish the whole floor to get it done. But otherwise, it just is an amazing project. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw and enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And then also, we would love to have you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And then if you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, then we can notify you every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.